Hello everyone! Today we're going to build a multi-page web application with a Navbar using Next.js and Tailwind CSS, just like this. This with a Navbar, and you can click through them and showing different content. We're creating this app based on a Hello World app that we created in another of my video. That app has everything we need in this project. If you don't have that ready, don't worry. Pause this video and check out that video I link in the description. In this video, we will focus on using Next.js for building multi-page routing and using Tailwind for building the tabs. First of all, let's clean up the pages. Currently, we have one page called Home. We can use that for About Me page. And also, we need to create 2 additional pages. So here, let's just be simple. Say, here we say About Me. So here is updated here. Make sure you're running npm run dev, so that whenever you run, your page will be automatically refreshed. And also we need 2 additional pages. So you can do under pages, create a new file. So for this, we can say projects.tsx. TSX file means it is a TypeScript React component. So we can copy this over. Change this to projects page, and here we call projects, and let's try it here. Voila, here this page is already ready. We also need a essay page. Copy this over, making changes. Let's try it. Okay, so see, 3 pages are already created. Very simple, right? The next step is to create a layout, because we need a tab bar here for every pages we just created. So if you look at _app.tsx, this page has no layout in it. So the reason why whenever you go to ISIS or project, it can go there is because it's passed here as a page props. So if we want to create a tab bar that can be applied for all the pages, we can add a template here. And in that template, we call it layout. In that layout, we can define a tab bar there. So first of all, we need to have a new layout. So let's first define that layout. And also we can, since here is being called pages, we can create a new folder under the root called components. Because they are not pages, they are components. And then we can move layout there. Here. And so we can do export default function layout. It is a component, and in that layout we will pass many components in the future. So we can say children, and that can be any. And here we say return, and inside that we can decide what to put there. here, can give an empty tag here, and then the main content will be different for each pages. Okay, so now the layout is created. Let's use that in the apps. So here we can say layout. Okay, let's give a try here. Right now, we should not see any difference because the layout is empty. We haven't added the tab bar yet. Okay, see, it is expected. The next step is the most exciting part. We're going to add tab bar to each of the pages. We're going to work out of the layout page. We're going to work in the layout file. So here, we're going to create a new component called Navbar. And in this Navbar, we can say it is so far empty. And we will call it inside the layout. Right now, the page should stay the same. There's nothing there yet. It's just an empty div. Now we're going to adding things to the Navbar, and you will see that change on this page. And inside that nav tag, we have a list. And in each list, we'll have the item here. See? Is that cool? So the first about me is actually the tab. So we can go to a different page and see what's going on there. See? And what about we have 3 there? The first one will be project. Yes. All right. So you see here, there's no style. Now is the magic of Tailwind CSS. So first of all, we want some padding around the tab. So we want to have some padding at the top. We add 6 there. And we want to have some width there. Max width. Okay, so we want the tab is in the center. So that's why I add justify center. We also want the tab to be horizontal. So now we're going to make some changes here. First, we need to add, less. So now they're horizontal. And going to make some change to the text. We want it to be smaller and the font to be medium, and And how about the color? We want to be lighter and have some shadow. So you see the shadow there. And we want it to be a rounded tab. What else do we need? We want some background there to be white. What else here? We want to have a ring, and the ring have different color. And also we want to have some backdrop blur there. And what else? We want to be having some padding. All right, so let's start with this. Next, we can work on the individual list item here. So we can work on the first one first. We know this one will be a link. So we can add a link there. About me. And then inside the link, we can do some magic there. So right now, you see when we hover over, it showed the little hand. That means it's a link. So we want this link to be a block. And so that we can add paddings on top of that. We want to have a horizontal padding and vertical padding. And we want to have some transition color change when we are mouse over it. So what we can do is do transition and hover over. We have a different color called teal 500. So let's give it a try. Ooh, very nice, right? Okay, we need to work on the other two tab. So we don't want to be repetitive because they're all the same except this URL and this is different. So this is a good opportunity to create a component for the list item. Okay, let's create this item. So we can say Navbar item components, and it will return. We can first copy this there, and then we can customize. Okay. So right now we can use this item per item. See? Now we have 3. But still the URL is hard-coded and the text is hard-coded. So we need to pass some arguments into this item, and then we can customize there. So how can we do that? First of all, this is the most critical part. We need to define what the argument look like. So we can say tab nav item props. We will have a title, which is a string. We will have a URL, which is a string, and we'll use it here. Props, and the type is nav item prop. Okay, so now you see there's some errors being called up here. So we can say quick fix and add all the missing attributes. So you see those props already being added to the item. But now it's passed as empty. Let's work on this part first. So we need to use those props in the component. So we will say, we will parse out the props. And now we can use the individual prop. So here, can say title. Oops. And here, say URL. So see, now it's empty because we haven't passed anything yet, but but we can verify those are already being used in the components. So now we can put in the individual values. So for first one, the title will be about me. The second one will be about project. Third one will be essays. See, very beautiful. But the URL is still the same. We need to pass something here, which is the root. This one will be projects. And this one will be essays. Ready to check it out, whether that works or not. Okay, right now we're on project page. Let's go to about me page. Yay, it works. How about go to essays? Nice. It's working perfectly. The next step, we're going to add more cool things on this page. So you can see on this page, there's a problem. We can only tell which page it is from the content rather than the tab. So we want the tab to show us which page it is on. So when it is on the IC page, where I want this item to be green by default. So how can we do that? We need the page to tell the Navbar which page it is, so the Navbar can make change on top of that. So we are going to use a new thing. It is called get static props. We're going to define for each page. So here, let's start with index page. Got a asboard async function, and this function will be called add static props. And there's no parameter being passed, but there will be things being returned here. Will be the page ID for this page will be called about me. So we will do the same to all the other pages, but with a different ID. So here will be called essay. For this one will be called projects. All right. So now we have the page ID set up for each page. And for layout, it needs to know which page ID it is. So for that reason, we need to pass something to the Navbar. So let's get ready. So we have Navbar props, and then a page ID, which is a string. So we need to pass that to Navbar. We don't need to use this prop inside the components yet, but we need to pass the prop from the layout. So let's go to the layout. And then we say add missing attributes. So here, children prop page ID. Okay. Next, we can use this page ID and pass that to each of the Navbar item. So first, let's parse the Navbar prop. So there is a page ID inside the prop. And we're going to use somewhere around here, because we're going to tell the Navbar item to show a different color. To make it easy, we can add another attribute for the Navbar item. So we can add it here, say is selected, and it is a boolean. We can do a prefix for convenience and add O there. And right now, by default, is false, but we can give it a try. So right now, we can do something inside the Navbar item, and based on the select value, and to show a different color. So is select. So see, by default, it is black, and on hover with a different color, but we want the same color when it's selected. So we can say $, brackets, it's selected. To be the same color here. Change the quote here so that we can do eval there. Said, okay, there's something wrong here. It's because here is missing a bracket there. Okay, now it's good. Save. All right, so let's give it a try. What if we put a true there for the first one? See, it's working. The about me is highlighted. So now we need to change this default value to something dynamic. So what we can do is using the page ID and compare with it. This about me. And here we say page ID equal to project. Page ID equals to SA. Okay, that is working. Okay, that's all for building a multi-page with Navbar using Next.js and Tailwind. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments.